This is Mark Gunn, and you're listening to TeeVo and the Beard.
Welcome to another episode of TeeVo and the Beard.
You can't see it, but I am TeeVo, and that is the Beard.
Yes, and TeeVo is sporting some nice glasses today.
Yes, tonight I will be doing another film, so I will be driving all night.
Yeah.
So I would like to save my contacts for those.
Okay.
This one's not anything, well, that I know that's very exciting.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, something.
Is it on like the We can talk about the one you did locally, right?
Which one?
The one with the boulder in it.
Oh, Baywatch?
Yeah.
I don't remember signing anything particularly secretive about that one.
So is this on that same level, the one you're going to today?
I think even less of a level.
Oh, okay.
Not that it's not important,
Yeah.
but I don't think they'll make me sign anything. Plus, the one I'm going to is a true story, so if they're really worried about spoilers, Google is a thing. Yeah. So that's that. Okay. But I believe the film, I don't know who I'll see, because, you could do a movie with a big ensemble cast, and then you could see nobody. Right. Yeah. That has happened before.
You just see the rest of the extras that you're
exactly.
there with. Yeah.
But the film currently stars Sebastian Stan. Okay. Known as Winter Soldier. Mm-hmm. Samuel L. Jackson, William Hurt. So 3 Marvel people.
I'm about to say, are you sure this is not a Marvel movie? Secretly a Marvel movie?
No, it also has The Flash in it. I don't think I'll be
Which one?
the Grant Gustin.
Okay.
I don't think I'll be in his scenes. At all.
So it's the first Marvel Cinematic Universe, DC Cinematic Universe crossover film that...
With the magical world in it.
With the magical world.
Because one of the actresses that was in Fantastic Beasts is also in it.
Okay. So, man, they're just... This is like a fandom convention.
Not really. I'm not expecting too much. Yeah. It's just... I've done it in my head. Mm-hmm. Where we are compared to the new mecca of Hollywood, being Atlanta. Mm-hmm. For me to go to Atlanta, I need to work at least 2 days. Because, like I've said in earlier episodes, they don't pay very well. They do pay you, but you're not going to make Sam Jackson's paycheck.
Right, yeah.
And that's just that.
Which is why you're driving there and not being flown there.
Yes. Or being driven.
Right, yeah.
So, not needless to say, they don't pay you well. They definitely don't give you gas money.
Right, yeah.
For them, if you live far away, they think we are in a mutual agreement. Like, you live far, you know what you're getting into. Yeah. So by sending you email, you're aware of that. Yeah. I am aware of that. But I'm almost aware they don't pay very well. And not like they pay us dirt poor, but,
Have you ever been turned down for something because you live too far?
I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm sure. Because
they haven't come out right out and said it, though.
Well, if I don't hear back.
Yeah. But, I mean, they haven't come out and said directly, sorry, TiVo, we're not hiring you because you live 400 miles away versus,
No.
Okay.
It's pretty cut and clear. If they don't call you back, or if they don't email you back, then obviously...
You're not there for some reason.
you didn't get it.
Yeah.
If they email you, it's pretty simple in that way. Yeah. Send your email. If you hear back, good news. If you don't, well...
So don't go hounding them if you don't hear anything back.
I mean, if sometimes for key scenes that they do know about in advance, they'll send out a general thing. If you send it immediately right there, it doesn't hurt. Yeah. A little later to just don't reiterate. Just send the exact same thing you said the first time. Yeah. So that they'll just see it again. No new message like, hey, I'm not sure if you got this, but I just thought no, don't do that.
Because chances are they got it.
Yeah, chances are they got it. They just will see it again. It's like, oh, good. Now, whether they're actually thinking that, I don't know. But this one, no, because I've done the math in my head. So if I work one day, that only really compensates my drive. Right. If I work a second day, I get to pocket that. Okay. So this is one of the reasons why I even signed up. It's 2 days. It's Friday and Saturday. Okay. Again, don't know who I'll see. Yeah. But, hey.
And depending on what they make you sign, you may or may not have a nice story for us when you come back.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta feel what the scene is about.
Yeah.
And then I read about the movie, or more or less the true story of the guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I have an idea who I might see.
Okay.
But again, I don't know.
And even then, it might be something where you like see him from a distance and never make any actual contact. Yeah.
Exactly. Like the first time I ever saw, I was in a movie. It was with Greg Kinnear.
Mm-hmm.
I was many feet away from Greg Kinnear, but I was like, I did see Greg Kinnear,
Right, yeah.
and that was cool. But you know, I didn't talk to Greg Kinnear,
Yeah.
and I don't know what I would have said other than just the usual, "Hey, I love these movies."
Yeah.
That's about it.
Isn't that sometimes the best way to quote unquote use big bunny ear air quotes here to meet your heroes and celebrities you like though is to
Well, you know, I understand they're people,
yeah.
but you know, sometimes like we as the regular people, again, the quote unquote.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all we know about.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't see what's wrong with saying, "Hey, I like that work."
Yeah. And then that being it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, I tend, you know, if I learn more about them and it applies to a regular conversation,
Right.
then sure, I'll say it.
Yeah. Because I was just kind of thinking about that the other day. Like as much as I appreciate the work of say, you know, Nick Offerman.
Yeah.
And I'd like to meet him. I would like to see him in person.
Yes.
I would like to, you know, let him know how much I appreciate what he's done, both in his writings, his art, and his television and movie work. But at the same time, do I really want to meet him?
Yeah.
Because then you start seeing, you know, the I won't want to necessarily say negative sides of people, but you see them as a real person. Then the fantasy's kind of broken.
Well, I'm more talking about like sometimes people don't want to just jump into that, and I'm like, well, what's the
I know
problem?
the politeness thing.
Yeah, there's a politeness thing,
Yeah.
or you know, there's people who think it's too cliche to, you know, say, oh, I love this work of yours, and but I'm like, well, that's what they do.
Yeah.
I mean, don't be weird about it, but you know, I think they would appreciate a compliment of their job.
It's like any job. I mean, we are their bosses.
Yeah.
We're the ones that pay them because by buying the books or by going to see the movie or whatever.
Yes.
So it's always nice to hear from your boss, hey, you did a great job.
Now, unfortunately, I can't tell this story in full detail until next year, but I did my last secret project.
Mm-hmm.
I did encounter a hero of mine.
Yeah.
And we just chatted about his work.
Yeah.
In full detail. And it was beyond the whole, oh, I like this. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, we actually had a real conversation about it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it stemmed from his work.
Yeah. It still leaves that nice veil of mystery.
Yeah.
Right there. You're not getting into the, you know, like, what did you have for breakfast? You know, what's your third favorite
Actually,
reptile?
I did get into that.
Of course
but
you would.
That was like 2 days into this. Like, we have built a somewhat mini rapport.
Right. You didn't just walk right up to him
No,
and say,
not
you know,
at all.
hey, Brett Dalton. I know that wasn't him, but
It wasn't him.
Yeah.
But
You would still be on that project if it was Brett Dalton.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was that. So
Okay.
It just kind of bothers me when people try to act super cool.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, hey, you don't need to. It's okay to say, hey, I love this work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met Steve Carell when I did Anchorman 2.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve Carell is a hero of mine, I think.
Yeah.
But when I met him, I just said, hey, I really enjoy your work. I'm a big fan of yours. I really enjoy your work. And he said, thank you. And that was it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's all it has been, yeah.
That's all that happened, and I'm grateful for that interaction.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, did I want to say, hey, I read that you did so-and-so, you went to school with so-and-so. I love how, like, you started doing work in 1991. You didn't hit it big until 2003.
All of a sudden you become a stalker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or, but the conversation didn't go there. Like,
Right.
this mystery person I'm talking about, I did let my, you know, Google Happy Memory come into play. But when I explained it to you, dear listeners, it came organically.
Right. And it also wasn't stuff like, I love how our social security number is only like 3 digits apart.
Exactly.
You still kept it normal and kept it within, you know, the guideline, polite guidelines.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, you know, hey, there is another lesson, I guess, if that was a lesson in being a movie extra.
Yeah. The little stuff that we missed in the original interview there.
I think anytime something happens, I will give another lesson. So that was lesson 4B.
4B. I think 4B or not 4B.
Tune in next week for 5C.
If anything interesting happens.
Something interesting always happens, but, I think I'm spoiled for my last adventure.
Yeah.
Because it was almost everything of my dreams.
Okay.
This one, well, I expect, something to tell. But will it happen in the same vein of the last one? Yeah. Trying not to keep my hopes up.
And this is how we keep our dozen listeners that we have, because now they have to wait till next year to find out what happened to TeeVo. It was so amazing.
Exactly.
And I have to listen to every episode, because I'm not going to put it in the description.
Exactly. But since we're talking about our people, segue, we'd like to spotlight one of our main listeners. It's a friend of ours, and he moved away. So I like to think that this chat that we have for recording is like a kind of a distance conversation that he'll listen to and then interact with. So thank you for keep on listening to us.
You don't want to give him a proper shout out by name?
Oh, we do? Chris.
Yeah.
Chris.
Also known as Scooter sometimes.
But it's like, well, there's two people. But today we're just going to talk about Chris.
Yeah. Yeah, Saran still lives here.
We can still talk to Saran in person.
Yeah.
But, it's very...
Saran, we'd love to have you on the show.
Yes. But it's very hard to talk to Chris. So I feel like anything we talk to, he'll listen to this and then catch up on what we're thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that let me know that the Flash from Earth 19 is Accelerated Man. Yes.
So, they haven't done anything with it, but
Yeah, no. But he was like quick on that. So it's like someone actually listened to more than the first 2 seconds of the episode. I like that.
Speaking of episodes, so we don't have the Flash anymore.
Right.
Well, maybe not.
Not until the 24th.
He's not dead, but but it was weird this week.
I was about to say, whoa, did you read something I didn't read?
It was weird going on the CW app this week and not clicking neither Supergirl or the Flash.
Right.
Speaking, before we get into the actual shows, I would like to make a comment on one of the shows that did air this week.
Okay.
It's called Legends of Tomorrow, and I hate them.
Well, while I was watching the season finale of Legends, I was like, this is going to be TiVo's least favorite episode.
It is my least favorite. I didn't watch it. I read it the second, spoilers happened.
Yeah.
I was not pleased. DC Legends of Tomorrow,
they went full Doctor Who with it as far as like no rules apply. We can do whatever we want.
I don't like you anymore. I wanted to give you a chance, and I did this season.
Lost it.
They've lost it. I don't care what you do next season.
I completely understand that.
I don't like you anymore.
Yeah.
You have failed me. You might as well have killed my Iris.
Yeah.
You might as well have broken up Kara and Mon-El.
Yeah.
What else is bad?
It is the darkest night for you.
It is terrible.
Yeah.
And
I was laughing at parts that were not meant to be funny while I was watching that, mostly thinking about if TiVo was watching this, how many things would he be throwing at the TV right now?
I did throw things while reading it.
Yeah.
And I did pout all night.
Yeah.
But I will say, spoiler, people. So if you haven't been listening to my contributions of Legends of Tomorrow, it really only revolved around the Reverse Flash. Pure and simple. I never watched like an episode, so I never went on the CW app to click on the episode. I just typed in Reverse Flash and see what YouTube recently uploaded.
Yeah.
Most of the time it was that week's episode, if he was in it.
Right.
That was
and he's had some good episodes.
And he's had some good
stuff. Yeah.
So in this episode, he dies from the Black Flash. I didn't like that at all.
Yep.
And that made me upset. I even, to show you how little I care of the actual show, when there was someone who did like, the full review, spoiler review, I did Control Find and just typed in Thawne and read every sentence around it.
Yeah.
shows, so I have no idea what happened with the rest of the episode, but I know that part.
Well, they showed us that they don't care about the rules, they don't care about timelines, all that stuff. They can do whatever they want. Like I said, they very Doctor Who'd it. But Doctor Who is allowed to Doctor Who it because they've been doing it for 50 plus years.
Yes.
Legends, I was like, yeah, you guys are not ending on a good note.
So I will say, while I was very upset, this is another PSA moment. Please don't take it that far, because the kind and gracious Matt Lesher, who plays Ebar Thawne, has an Instagram. He's actually someone who reads their Instagram comments. Maybe not all of them, but he replies. So that night he posted 3 pictures saying goodbye to the role that we know of. Yeah. Whether he'll be back, obviously... It will ruin the whole...
I mean, he could also be in Supergirl or in Arrow. So.
we don't know. But he posted his boots, he posted his jacket, and like a picture of him holding Spear of Destiny, basically saying, goodbye, Ebard. Yeah. In essence, with all of them. And a wave of people, including myself, were like, no! Come back! No! They can't kill you! One of the pictures got really... You know how sometimes... as the maximum level it can go to is a 10. Yeah. He took it to a D. Wow. So Matt Lesher posts one picture, and I'm sorry, guy, but so I'm not trying to make fun of you, but just hold it down. This guy, I remember the comment said, I'm gonna kill myself because they killed you. Oh wow. And I was like, okay. And then comment. He comes back and say, I'm serious. And then comment. I'm not kidding around. I was like, okay, well, I mean, I'm upset. Right. But life will go on.
It's a fictional character.
It's a fictional character. Yeah. Life goes on. And most likely, because he's probably that popular, he'll be back somehow. Yeah. I mean, he died in the first season of Flash. He still came back.
Worst case scenario, he'll be in other things. Yes. As an actor, you can still go see him and pretend that he's Reverse Flash in these other things.
I have done that. Yes. But the cool Matt Lesher, as he is, responded to this guy, basically saying, I'm not sure if you're serious, but know that if you need help... You need to reach out to people. Yeah. And if not, here is a number you could call. Nice. This is not a joke. Please understand that.
The Reverse Flash saves the day.
Yes. More than the Flash sometimes. Yeah. But just wanted to give my thoughts on Legends tomorrow, that I hate you. Yeah. Legends, I hate you. I'm going to say that until maybe you bring Ebar back. Yeah. And even then, I'll still hate you, Legends. Right. But I love that part.
Right. So
going back to the CW app.
To kind of segue from that, I was gonna have kind of I know we're always talking about like superhero shows or comic shows or stuff like that, which we will get to in this episode. Yeah. What else do you watch besides films?
Like particular shows?
Yeah, anything that you're currently watching that you're, and not including Powerless, which I am caught up on now.
Good. Yeah. And they're great. That's all we can really say.
Yeah. Go watch it.
Go watch it. Let's see, other shows I watch. Fresh Off the Boat. Right. I still enjoy that. It's nothing like I'm not trying to make it a racial thing. But, dear listeners, I am an Asian person.
Whoa. You've heard it here first, folks.
So, because, I was going to say something about the show. Yeah. It would not make any sense if they don't have any context. Yes. But
they're going to have to go on Instagram and really scroll back a ways to see the one photo of us.
Yes. But the show is like a fantasy version of how I wish I grew up.
Oh, wow.
Because let's just say the way they do it on Fresh Out the Boat, from my experience of witnessing my Asian family and many other Asian families, that is nothing like how it goes. So for me, it's like a form of escapism. Okay. It's like, wow, that would have been cool if, we did stuff like that. Yeah. No way. No way. This is obviously written by a certain type of people. Yeah. So I watched that. I watched The Mick. Because I like the Sunny Gang and, Caitlin Olsen being her own starring show. It's like, oh, sure, why not? Yeah. And it's really funny to me. Okay. Let's see, what else do I look forward to? Oh, Last Man on Earth.
Okay.
Oh man, I love that show.
I kind of fell off the boat on that one.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what? It's kind of a weird thing for me. I did not like Will Forte when he was on Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live being another show I watched.
Yeah.
I didn't like his humor. I don't know what it was, but the years he was on it, and he was on a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nothing about his characters really grabbed me.
Mm-hmm.
So naturally, when he started venturing into film, into television, it's like, I don't know if I want to watch it, because if I didn't like you before...
If I don't like you in 5-minute increments, I'm not going to like you in 45-minute ones.
That changed completely. Because he did a movie called Nebraska. It was that black and white movie with Bruce Dern.
Okay.
I don't know what about it. It's one of my favorite movies of, like, the decade.
Wow.
And Will Forte is a contributing factor in it. And then he did Last Man on Earth, and I was like, well, I liked you in that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. Something about the character and the situations they get in.
Yeah.
I love. I don't know why.
Yeah, because I watched into like half a season too before I fell off. And I did like the fact that they did manage to somehow keep it fresh, even though it's a very couple episode idea. You know?
Yeah. The visuals, for me, makes it very entertaining because they are, it's a group of people who are supposedly the last people on Earth.
Right.
So they
the group that kept growing.
But it's like, they'll go into like places like you can't get into. Like, Will Forte's character was driving a mini scooter around the White House. Yeah. Just the visuals of that was funny.
Yeah.
And the other show I tune into every week, it's a new show. I don't know if you're watching it, but it's called Making History.
Okay, I've heard of it, yeah. I haven't checked it out yet, though, because...
Since you're on the on the wagon of time travel with Legends and Doctor Who, this is like that, but cheaper, yet it's only 30 minutes, so, you're not, really investing too much.
Yeah. So kind of like the powerless version of...
Kinda, and it's funny what they do with time travel. If for those who haven't watched it, it's about these two guys. One of them has a girlfriend that's Paul Revere's daughter. And the way he time travels, he has a giant duffel bag.
Of course. Yeah.
And he gets in the duffel bag, and then you can travel through time that way. And I remember reading... I was watching an interview he did on TV, and they asked him, so why a duffel bag? And he said, that was literally the cheapest way we can illustrate time travel.
Wow.
Because, like, inside there's, like, wires and, like, a little, gadgets. But essentially he crawls into a duffel bag.
And also, nobody's done that.
Nobody has done that. But yeah, I love that answer. There was no, like, trying to, think of a smart way. It was it was literally the cheapest way we can illustrate this happening.
Nice.
And I said, I respect that. And
yeah.
It was before the show premiered, and I heard that answer. I was like, I respect that.
Yeah.
So far, it's been pretty funny.
Okay.
So
I'll have to jump on the bandwagon of that.
There were only 4 episodes in, so it's a good time to do so.
Yeah. Yeah. So a couple things I've been watching. One thing is from 2009, I think, and there's an anime called Death Note.
Okay.
Which Netflix is going to be doing a live-action movie version of, and it's coming out in August, I think.
Right.
But it's going to be set in Seattle, and I'm imagining it's going to be somewhat different than the anime. But I'm enjoying it. I'm not really necessarily an anime person, but the storyline has me hooked about there being a notebook that you can write somebody's name in and basically put how they're going to die, and then it comes to be. It's not for children, obviously. But then the other one that randomly caught my eye was on Hulu, and I started watching it this morning, actually, called Dimension 404.
Okay.
Yeah, and I definitely recommend
that. Sounds like an error code.
That's kind of what they base it around. You've heard of Black Mirror.
Yes.
Right. So imagine that, but more lighthearted and not so doomsday-ish. So like I said, I watched it's an anthology, so you don't have to watch every single episode. As far as I know, they don't connect in any way. But the first episode I watched has, without giving any spoilers here, Joel McHale owns a dating website.
Okay.
And there's clones involved, and when you get rejected from the dating site, you have to decide if you're going to go back as a clone or if you're gonna. There's different options of what you can do. It's very well done. It's and it's got like all sorts. It's got Joel McHale. It's got this particular episode had Joel McHale, Leah Michelle, and our friend Major.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
And after seeing him, the way he acted, and
His name is Robert Buckley,
that
ladies
I
and gentlemen.
keep forgetting. Yeah.
Robert Buckley.
And I had TiVo tell me that just before we started recording, and I forgot it immediately.
I am 98% sure that is his name.
Yeah.
I left 2%. I know Buckley is in it.
Right. So,
I'm 91% sure.
so we'll call him Major Buckley.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but in it, he plays each of his clones.
Okay.
Who are, fairly different from each other. And I was watching this, and I was like, I kind of want to see him in other things now.
He was in an episode of Powerless.
Right. Well, yeah. He wasn't that. He was the henchman.
But I get what you mean. Like he does. He grew on me.
Yeah.
He grew on me because that first season and a half of iZombie.
Yeah.
I did not like him.
Right, yeah.
But
now, we mentioned multiple times that they could get rid of him and nobody would care.
Now, if they did, I would care.
But we will get into that in a minute. We're going to take a quick break here, and then we're going to enter spoiler territory for iZombie and Agents of HYDRA.
Yes.
And we're back. So we have 2 shows that are taking a break, and we have 2 shows that have returned.
Yes. One of them, Return.
Return, yes. We've been waiting literally a year for iZombie to come back.
I love how we have waited a year.
Mm-hmm.
And the episode took place 28 minutes after the end.
Yeah.
It was, I would say, if they're planning to do like a full run through, no breaks and everything, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But the drawback of coming back literally a year later is I really almost forgot a lot of things.
Yeah, no, that
the whole Blaine having amnesia.
Right.
Kind of forgot that.
We all kind of got a little amnesia.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did some good things with this episode as far as recapping us.
Yes.
But on some of it, I think they spent a little too long on, like the amnesia thing. It's like, all right, tell us he has it, and then let's move on.
Yeah. Overall, I thought it was I think it's going to be a pretty good arc on.
I think so. Yeah.
I like that they're going away somewhat of, what's the brain of the week? What's the crime of the week? And
right.
Here's a little sprinkle of the overarching plot.
Yeah. So now we find out that there are more zombies in Seattle than Liv originally had any idea.
A lot.
Yeah. Enough to have a school.
Yes.
Yeah. / a boot camp.
Yes. So essentially, we left off last season, and also I'm glad they addressed that they killed Rob Thomas.
Yes, a couple times.
They killed Rob Thomas. So, as a joke,
thankfully he did not die in the real world during this period, because that would have been extra sad.
I would bad. As a joke, the creator of the show, his name is Rob Thomas. It's not that Rob Thomas in Matchbox 20, but in the finale of last season, they had a special performance from that Rob Thomas.
Right. Because there can only be one Rob Thomas.
And they proved that because Rob Thomas died.
I like how you almost said Rob Zombie there.
It would.
I think that would have been.
I wish they would have. You know what? I wish they would have turned him into a zombie so he could somewhat become Rob Zombie.
Right. Yeah.
But they eat his brains, and I was shocked.
Oh, they devoured him. They wanted to make sure he was not coming back.
I was shocked because I am a big fan of Rob Thomas.
Yeah.
So the whole year I was like, I hope they just say something.
Yeah.
I hope they say something. They killed Rob Thomas.
Yes.
And they wonderfully did on the show, the radio. They said, "Oh, Rob Thomas died." Carlos Santana sent this meaningful tweet, and then they played a Rob Thomas song. I was like,
"Heaven's a little bit more smooth."
Yeah.
It's like,
and I was like, you know what? I'll take it. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, because it's not something they had to make a whole plot about.
Yeah.
But just putting it in there was enough.
Oh yeah, I would have. While I would have liked it if they did a whole plot, I would have been like, why? So you waited a year just to tell us what we already knew?
Yeah.
But nonetheless, they didn't do that. but they are, like the Beard said, there are more zombies.
Yep.
And we initially left the episode thinking, okay, where's this going? Because it was almost a sudden blackout.
Yeah.
She said, there's more of us, blah, 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 end.
Right.
And we thought, okay, until October.
Right.
October came. Never happened. Until January.
Still nothing.
Still nothing. Until April, which is where we're at.
Right. Like I said, literally a year later, because I didn't even realize it had been that long until I was on Wikipedia, and I was like, last episode was in April of last year.
That when you go on the CW app,
Mm-hmm.
it they give you the episode that currently aired,
Mm-hmm.
and then the last one, and it did say last episode aired 4/4/2016.
Yeah.
Wow. But nonetheless, we don't know what to make of these new zombie characters we're meeting,
Mm-hmm.
but it seems like they're for the good.
Right.
I think they're going to go with the whole, we're good guys, but we're the very extreme, so we're probably going to make that turn to be the antagonists of the season.
Right.
But they're not like, crazy ones.
Right, yeah.
And what they're essentially afraid of is, what I liked most about the episode is that they brought this fictional thing, made
Mhm.
a very real connection.
Mhm.
So they were worried about D-Day.
Right.
D-Day being Discovery Day.
Mm-hmm.
What will happen if the humans discover that there is a lot of zombies here?
Yeah, because they've been doing pretty good to hide themselves with
Yes.
the motto, and I love when the little kid, because if you're not looking at the posters in the background, it sounds like the little kid's insulting Liv when she goes,
Yeah.
"You need to tan and die."
Yeah.
It's like, whoa,
Exactly.
Oh, DYE, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
But we
that-
like Liv looking like the way she does.
Yes. But it's the notion that they're afraid the human race will essentially wipe them out.
Yeah.
And they don't want to,
Which,
die.
if anybody has ever seen a zombie movie, knows that that's normally the reaction.
Yes. But they don't want to die.
Right.
So they're trying to prepare themselves for essentially when that happens,
Mm-hmm.
that they'll be okay.
And that's why they have a boot camp there.
Yes. What did you think?
I enjoyed it. I think they spent a lot of time catching us up.
Yes.
Which we live in a time and an age where that's not necessary because, like you said, the other episodes were right on there. You can access last year's episode and catch yourself up.
Or maybe they should have done a better job with the recap montage.
That's true too. Yeah, it's like just have a voiceover thing that says, "All right, this happened, this happened, this happened," and now 28 minutes later.
Yes.
I like how they use the 28 there because
Yeah.
28 days later and all that. Yeah, always referring to the zombie things. I liked it. I like that.
I think it's going to be a pretty good season.
Yeah, that it's not going to be it doesn't look like it's going to be it's not going to be a brain of the week
Yes.
sort of thing. Because even, what is her Joe's name? The detective.
What?
Her version
Clive.
of Joe.
Oh, Clive.
You Clive. Like her because basically she has the same relationship with him that Barry does with Joe's.
I gotta say, I like Clyde in this episode.
Yeah.
Because
I like the knowledge that he knows things now, so.
I do like that he's in the circle,
Mhm.
so they don't have to play the whole, oh, well, everybody essentially know, 90% of the people on the show know except Clyde.
We all gotta hide it from him.
So I like that he knows now.
Yeah.
And I love the scene where he sees a kid that he used to know.
Yeah.
And fortunately...
Wally West. CW keeps everything connected.
But I love the scene at the end when we learn that there is a section of humans who are hunting him down.
Yeah.
And that little boy is killed. Just the look on his face. I was like, man, you pulled your paycheck that week.
Yeah, I forgot that I was watching CW for a while there because I was like, no, they didn't kill a kid off. They wouldn't kill a whole family. And oh wow, they
just didn't show
went
you
there.
the kid. They showed the adults.
Right, yeah,
They didn't show the kid.
but still, they totally went there. And I applaud CW for taking steps like that.
And I applaud them. I applaud the show CW and particularly the showrunners of this
Mhm.
involving everybody.
Yeah,
It's just, when you're invested in a show and you're invested in characters,
Mhm.
it's nice to see changes happen.
yeah,
So, hence why I really like that they finally brought Clyde in
Mhm.
and, they showed more range of him because,
Yeah.
he's always been just cop guy,
right, yeah.
which is fine
Yeah.
in the beginning.
The serious by the books cop
Yeah.
guy. Yeah.
But now I like that he's with them.
Yeah, and I like that, especially with this show, but with other shows, CW also allows their characters to do things behind the scenes.
Mhm.
So, like, you have Ravi, who is, just, after hearing about Blaine and his girl, Peyton, yeah. I heard Peyton in my head, and I was like, that doesn't sound right. After hearing about their little tryst, Ravi's heartbroken,
Mhm.
but they don't spend a big chunk of the show on that.
Right.
But it is going on kind of behind the scenes. And when
Yeah.
you do see Robbie, you do see how this stuff's affecting him.
Yes.
So
and what other things that are affecting characters. So the news has gotten hold that right now they are saying the Chaos Killer is Major.
Yeah.
And I love seeing the interactions he's having with people.
Yeah.
I mean, not love, but I like that. That's again, they're illustrating, a world. They're setting that world.
Because I mean, they spray painted on his house. They write it on his Starbucks cup.
Yep.
And I like how they build all that up so that the end it pays off. So when you see him,
so dear listeners, so the Chaos Killer last season essentially was a guy who was taking on these zombies,
right?
But to the press, it was just a guy kidnapping and killing people.
Yeah, because zombies don't exist as far as they were concerned.
But no, it was Major doing a job for Max Rager.
Right.
And
if it wasn't for that dog, he never would have been caught.
Yep. And right now
he got Scooby-Dooed.
And right now he is being tagged the Chaos Killer. So like the Beard said, he goes home. People have totally gotten wind of that.
Yeah.
He goes to Starbucks or the coffee house.
The coffee, yeah.
Or a coffee house.
The unnamed coffee
Might
house.
as well be Starbucks.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's in Seattle. Come on.
Everything's Starbucks.
Yeah.
I like how he just goes to, pay for the coffee. And just the cashier just looks at him.
Yeah.
And he's just like, okay.
Yeah.
And then he looks at his cup and he just goes, yep, I'm not having this today.
And I like how it wasn't made into like this huge big deal thing, because then that would have just been proving the public's point that he was a bad guy.
Yeah. And then I love his happy-go-lucky face. That smiling Major face.
Yeah.
When he goes to the lab and he goes, so I got a job.
Yeah.
Because that's what he was doing, trying to do at the Starbucks.
Right.
Was to have a coffee and look through the want ads. And he goes, I got a job. I don't care if you're right now a known killer or something.
Right, yeah. If you're the Chaos Killer.
And we don't know what it is until the end.
Right.
He has joined the zombie boot camp.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what? I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely approve that. I'm not sure how Liv feels about that.
No, but
he's got good reasoning behind it.
Yeah. And that's true. They probably won't care.
Yeah. Yeah, but not a lot of shows, they would like do all this overemphasis and all that about the boot camp and tell you about it and just like really make you think about the boot camp.
Yeah.
No, he just kind of slides behind the scenes doing his thing, and then it pays off in the end.
What did you think about Blaine in this episode?
I like Blaine. I
love his musical covers.
Yeah, Blaine with Amnesia is good Blaine.
Yeah.
Because I liked him as a bad guy, but the reason I liked him as a bad guy is because he's one that he had his reasons, so you could kind of get behind him for doing the thing
I
he
would
did.
say, and I told David Anders this personally, when I met him at Dragon Con, is he plays it so damn good.
Yeah.
It's just, he might have his reasons, and they might be nefarious reasons, but the way he plays it is just so good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like if he was to come recruit you, you'd be like, no, what you're doing isn't right. But I'm with you.
And the scene I specifically told him was when he hooked me, was in season 1. It was when one of the kids that Major was looking at after we're missing, and the kid's friend was going around. It was the last scene of the episode. He was going around, showing his picture, having the crying face. Have you seen my friend?
Yeah.
Have you seen my friend? Excuse me, have you seen my friend? And he taps on Blaine, and he just looks at the picture, looks at him, and goes, buddy, I just saw him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's right there. He's at the house party. You want me to go? I'll take you.
Yes, not a lot of actors can do those little things.
He just, it's just the whole, I couldn't explain it. And I was telling him, I was like, I don't know what you did or how they got you for that take, but just, I knew that you were going to kill this kid, which he did.
Yeah, yeah.
But I wanted to go with you.
Right, yeah. No, I would have totally been with him to go kill the kid.
Yeah.
Sure, fine, yeah.
Or him kill me, but it was like, I was hooked.
Yeah.
That was the moment that was like, I like this character.
Yeah, and he works for me because I've never been a zombie person.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the really old stuff, the stuff that's very cheesy and campy
Right.
now. But yeah, I've never been into like the Walking Dead stuff like that. But yeah, with characters like him, it's like, yeah, I could be a zombie. if this is the type of guy you get to hang out with,
exactly,
sign me up.
So I want to see what it was. I know we wrote a lot on, being a year break, but I like that this episode gives us a good place to start them.
Yeah.
And, to me, it gave all the supporting characters more time to shine.
Yeah.
Because I know we talked a lot about Major, and then Robbie, and then Clyde, and Blaine. And I know Liv's a star, but I don't know. I just... Maybe because she hasn't kicked it in, but I'm really wondering about everybody else right now.
Yeah.
More than Liv.
Yeah.
Not to say that, she didn't do anything, but...
Yeah. She kind of stepped back a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, she had that whole thing where she had to kill Drake being her boyfriend.
Yeah.
But other than that, it really was an episode for everybody else.
But even then, when the soldier brain finally wore off and she was reacting to that, it was such a very small segment of the show, where a lot of shows would have just made it all about Liv and how she's reacting to what she's done.
Now, granted, we've only watched one episode.
Yeah.
So, all these things that we're praising them for not doing, they could totally do that later.
Because, we can tell from the preview for next week that she will have a bigger part.
Yeah. And again, not to say she wasn't in the episode, she is a star in it. But I just loved how everybody else had their moment.
Yeah, even Blaine's little henchman gets his own shining part. Yeah,
exactly. So kudos.
Yeah. So, and I'm glad it's back, and I'm looking forward to what they have coming next.
And it was paced really well.
It was.
Last thing I would say is paced really well. It was paced so well that when it was over, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, we need more. It's like, give me more iZombie.
Because I've said it before, especially to you, not on the air, but last year they got the money to do multiple episodes.
Yeah.
But being... instead of a 13 episode, we're going to do 20 something. And there were some episodes, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm ready for it to be over.
Yeah, they had some filler episodes last season.
Lots of filler.
Yeah.
Lots and lots.
And maybe they've learned from that.
I think they did.
Yeah.
And the studio did too.
So, like you said, though, we've seen one episode, so we'll cross our fingers that's the case.
But, what I was trying to get at with that, the pacing was, that was the first time I ever went like that to an episode of iZombie.
Okay.
Aside from like a finale.
Right.
But obviously because finales have cliffhangers and that's the cliffhanger is designed to go, no!
Right.
But for a premiere like that, I was like, what? No! The episode flows so well.
Yeah. So it's like a little mini cliffhanger.
A little bit.
Yeah. So what else did we watch this week?
So
I felt like I'm in some sort of framework here.
Yes.
And nothing is real.
Oh, wow. That was an episode.
Yes.
I thoroughly enjoyed the framework of Agents of HYDRA.
Right.
So let's just go into what's different. So we know in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D, they're happy S.H.I.E.L.D people. Well, mostly. Mostly they're happy. In this new world, S.H.I.E.L.D is nothing.
Right.
S.H.I.E.L.D is if anything, will definitely get you killed.
Yeah, because it used to exist. We do know that much.
And all the characters we know. So there is no Daisy.
Right.
There's never been a Daisy.
Nope.
It's only been Sky.
Yep. No Quake.
No Quake. And May is like almost head honcho HYDRA.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised they didn't make her a director.
No.
But happily surprised.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I think, going back to iZombie a little bit, I think there is somebody who's given Rose McIver a run for their money.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they are both from the land down under.
But we'll get to that part. So Fitz and Simmons.
There is no Fitz and Simmons.
There is Fitz and there is Simmons, but
or at least until they hacked in the way of the framework, there was a Simmons.
Yeah. Yeah, so Simmons is technically dead.
I'm glad that they didn't decide not to give Simmons the Buffy season 6.
Yeah.
Because when she crawled out, I was like, oh!
And it was funny because I just finished watching iZombie, and then I go to watch this, and I'm like, am I watching the same show again?
Because, when we left Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D, and we saw a mini preview of what's to happen in the framework, we saw Tombstone with Simmons' name in it.
Yeah.
And immediately my mind, because it is a Whedon show, whether or not be Joss, it's still the Whedon family. I was like, oh no, she's gonna crawl. She's gonna have to punch her way out of a coffin.
Yeah.
Nope.
Just dug herself out of the dirt. It's all
Because she is in a mass grave.
Mm-hmm.
So that was disturbing enough. She was in
Yeah.
a mass grave with a lot of other Shield members.
Mm-hmm.
So her, I guess, she was the shallowest of them all.
Yeah. Thankfully, she was recently buried.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the scheme of it all.
Yeah. I mean, if you had to choose when to be buried and dig yourself out of a grave.
Yes. We see that HYDRA has taken over the world ever since the Bahrain incident.
Right.
So we know that S.H.I.E.L.D. existed from what we see in the movies up until a certain point. And that certain point being, it started because of May.
Right. Yes.
Well, it makes sense because she was the first one to really test the framework out.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
you know.
So it kind of revolves around her now.
Exactly.
Which is why I was surprised, but like I said, happily surprised that she wasn't the, head one. There.
Well, as the doctor says, it's pretty much your fault.
Yeah.
So that told me, I was like, oh, yeah, no wonder she's not in charge.
Yeah. What do you think about Fitz as a bad guy? Because even though HYDRA isn't the big bad, so to speak, within the framework,
yes,
he's not the same Fitz.
I think if I were Ian DeCastaker, I really would have reveled in this.
Yeah,
it's a way to.
He looks like he's having fun with it
because he is nothing like Fitz.
Right.
It might as well not be Fitz. They just keep calling him the Doctor.
Right.
It just the way he plays bad really well. If he ever gets any more work aside from S.H.I.E.L.D., I'd like to see him take a stab at some villains.
He could be a James Bond villain.
He could.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the haircut, or what, or the suit, but man, this show has given him. If anything, if the show ever does not continue, which is a rumor that's going around, blah blah.
Always around this time of year.
This whole show should be a wonderful demo reel for Ian DeCastaker.
Yeah,
because he's had to play so many types of personalities within the same character. You had to play the nerdy kid, and then the sick
damage kid,
the sick one, and then the hell-bent, I'm going to find my love of my life, and then essentially. Now I'm an agent. Now he's playing supervillain. Yeah. I mean, by God.
Yeah, I mean, I'd hire him. I'm not writing anything, but I'd hire him.
I'd be like, what do you want to play?
Yeah. How about we just make a movie around you?
Exactly. What do you want to do?
Yeah. Do you want to be the good guy and the bad guy? You can be an evil twin? Fine. We'll make it work.
Let's see. Coulson is exactly where we left him off. He is a history teacher.
Which he fits into that role so well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think he's just designed for those types of characters, like government agents, teachers.
Yeah, because you believe him as that. I mean,
dad.
Yeah,
because he just plays it so well. Yeah, and he looks it.
Yeah,
but he is a history teacher, essentially spreading the word of HYDRA.
Right, because HYDRA has saved the day.
HYDRA, from
these Inhumans.
Well, I was wondering because Marvel released essentially all the posters that we see around the world of HYDRA. Basically, much like today in our world, like, if you see it, report it type thing. Yeah. And I remember thinking, well, they don't like Inhumans? Yeah. But didn't the show establish that they were found by Inhumans? And then, we learned that the new HYDRA formed because of Bahrain. Yeah. What was in Bahrain? The Inhuman. Right. And that made more sense to me. I was like, oh, okay.
And I even like how they do emphasize it differently. They're inhuman. Yeah. It's like, oh, okay.
But Simmons managed to find her way to find Coulson and tries to get to him. Yeah. Which, because it's been so long, not as long as iZombie. No. Because it's been a month since we've seen the last new episode. I thought they made kind of an agreement that when they go into the framework, they know that those people won't be themselves. Yeah. Yet Simmons is all about.
She goes right for the jugular.
All about trying to convince him. And I was like, it's kind of pointless. Yeah.
Is it?
Or is it? So she sees like a little
The
little
hula girl.
hula girl.
Yeah.
And,
She goes, Tahiti.
and she knows that something is, something kept with Coulson's memory.
Yeah.
And why did that happen? Because his brain has already been messed with before.
Yeah. And he's not completely human himself.
Yes. So that was an interesting one. We didn't see Mac. We didn't see Mace.
Right.
But they'll be there.
I thought that was kind of strange. I thought they were kind of going to throw everybody at us at once. I mean, they even throw Nadir's brother at us.
Yes.
Kind of.
Yes. But the one that we all been waiting for.
Yes.
So Sky.
Agent May.
Sky wakes up to her boyfriend.
Lincoln. No.
It's Ward.
It is Ward.
And she is freaking out.
Yes.
And
my wife was very happy about this episode.
I'm
sure you were.
Well, it was just nice to see him again.
Mm-hmm.
And we've emphasized it before with TV shows. People like us, when we watch TV shows, we're connected to the characters.
Yeah.
And they essentially gave us one back.
Yeah.
It was just nice.
Mm-hmm.
So they are top-level HYDRA agents.
Yep.
And they are the tag team duo. Mm-hmm. But, oh no! I love this twist so much. Mm-hmm. So Simmons finds her way to get back to Quake.
Yep.
And they are intercepted by Ward.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh no! Again, but no, Ward's a sick double agent. Yes. This time being, he works for the good guys.
Right.
When he's really posing as a bad guy.
Right.
I was like, that was literally the best thing you could have done by bringing Brett Dalton back as Ward in the framework.
And I like how Simmons even mentions it, kind of almost breaking the fourth wall, saying, even in this world, you're a double agent.
Yes.
Yeah. One thing I found interesting, kind of to segue back into when Sky wakes up, since they like to keep Sky as naked as possible, wakes up in a bathtub, and when she opens her ID, I noticed that her thumb is over her last name. And I'm wondering if that's going to come up at any point, or if I'm just, reading too much into that, if she's no longer, if this is if she is, Sky Ward.
I did not catch that, but good job on that. I'll look back into that.
It's probably something that will never come up again, and it just happened to be how she was holding it.
But just love Brett Dalton.
Yeah,
I like him. It was what I liked about the first version of Ward we met, mixed with the bad one we like.
Yeah,
because I know his character wasn't as popular before he was a HYDRA agent. I liked the character though.
Yeah,
but I like that this time he's a good guy. So there's a bit of the first Ward we met mixed with the bad one,
right?
Because this Ward being a good guy, but obviously he's a good guy in a world that's not meant for good guys.
Right. And I like how the juxtaposition here where they have bad Ward in a suit.
Yes.
And then good Ward is in the regular clothes.
Yes, exactly.
Where that's a flip from the first,
I love that. That is the perfect way to bring it back.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is stuff this is what we've talked about before, where this is a season that's made for the fans. Somebody just coming in might have enjoyed the episode, but they're not going to get 90% of the stuff that's going on. I also like how, Coulson, Clark Gregg fits for that character, but Coulson is kind of different. We can kind of dig into that a little bit more in a minute. But Ward and May are essentially the same people.
Yes.
Just... this is how May would be handling it if she was in HYDRA versus, but she's still that, no nonsense, getting the job done sort of character.
Yes.
And Ward is the double agent.
Yes.
And I find it interesting that some of the characters have a big change, some of them smaller change, like we saw with Fitz having that almost 180 from being this really good, sweet guy to now being the doctor.
Yes.
Which in my head I spell with a capital D.
Yes.
But so we have Coulson, though, who, while Clark Gregg fits in the character, it is kind of a softer, toned-down version of Coulson. He plays by the rules.
He plays by the rules, and, from flashbacks, we know that Coulson was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent when Bahrain happened.
Yeah.
So, I took it as, this is a broken Coulson.
Yeah.
We don't really know exactly how deep into S.H.I.E.L.D. he was by Bahrain, but we know something must have happened because he is HYDRA all the way.
Yeah.
But in a sense, he has that feeling of, I don't want to, but I also don't want to die.
He's HYDRA in the civilian world.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't, May just goes on up the ladder where Coulson obviously dropped off.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we learned that old things, again, for fans, a magical place.
Yeah.
Simmons knew to hit the jugular there.
Oh, I know. She just like, when she did that, I was like, whoa, that's a little too soon.
But something awoken there, or he resurfaced there.
Yeah.
He still called HYDRA on her, though.
But he waits until she leaves. Yeah, which I'm wondering if that was supposed to be out of the character having fear that, she may attack him if he calls, or if he was trying to give her that little bit of a head start.
I think it was the first.
Yeah.
Because
he is a timid version now of Coulson.
I think it was the first.
Yeah.
More like, okay, go away.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to call.
Yeah.
But
because he didn't give her too much of a head start, but a little bit.
Because we see he has a secret, stash.
Yeah.
And
he keeps it in his work desk, though. So maybe
and there is a shining-esque piece of paper, multiple pieces of paper of just completely saying it's a magical place.
Yeah.
It's a magical place.
Like 1,000,000 times.
Yep. Even on the side of the paper.
Yeah. And a calendar.
Yes.
With one of our favorite characters that we have not seen in a long time.
Yep.
Lola.
Yep. So Simmons and Skye meet up, and the whole point, they had a rendezvous to get themselves out.
Right.
There is someone who took care of that.
Yep, their little escape button is not working.
Nope, they're going to have to stay a little longer.
Yeah, so that means there must be somebody very powerful over HYDRA.
The director.
Yes, the new director.
is Madame HYDRA.
Right.
The Viper. Played by Mallory Jansen.
Yep.
Who we know her as Ada.
Ada.
And oh my god. She is giving Rose McIver a run for her money.
Yeah.
The first episode, she appears naked.
Yeah.
And then her sexy robot mannerisms.
Yep. Now she's got green in her hair
and playing so bad.
I'm joining HYDRA. That's it.
I would, if I saw her, I'd be like, okay, sure,
sign me up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Especially because I watched that right after iZombie. I was like, I don't know what it is, but I'm digging a new girl from the Land Down Under.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know, Mallory Jansen is Australian. So those who watch any episode of S.H.I.E.L.D. with her and see that accent, the episode where she had an accent, the producer was like, you know what? Don't worry about it.
Give your voice a day off.
Yeah.
And just be you.
And same goes with Rose McIver. She's from New Zealand.
Right.
So the voice that you hear her do all the time, not a real voice.
We're having like Kiwis versus koalas here.
Koala's winning.
Koala's winning, yeah. Yeah, because if I have to choose between HYDRA and Zombie, I'm going HYDRA right now. I've got the green water bottle to prove it.
So she has blocked their way, so now Simmons and Skye are going to have to find another way.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Doctor is very much behind the Viper.
Yes.
But it doesn't really say if he's second in command. So we know, we can imply it, but they've directly said that May is third in command.
Yeah.
We know that Ada is first in command. Is there somebody they're hiding, or is it Fitz?
I think it's he seems to have a lot of power. So.
Yeah. But it is...
or does he have the power?
Ooh. But it is like Marvel to throw us that little curveball and say, yeah, you thought you knew everybody in charge.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did do that, but the episode, makes it seem like that was the top three.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I'd be fine with.
Yeah.
But again, like you said, they didn't explicitly say it, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
But I personally don't think that's going to be a thing. I think they got a lot more things to worry about than who's second in command in the frame world.
Yeah, we don't have to start adding more characters.
Or do we?
No. At least not within this part.
But as Skye, Daisy, Quake does whenever she's sad, her default is to go seek out Coulson.
Yep.
Which she did. By scaring him.
Right. Yeah, don't just be in the back of somebody's car.
Yeah.
That's just...
But she gets through him, and the cliffhanger-y ending way ends with him saying, Daisy, which they established in the whole episode that Daisy,
No.
not a thing.
It's
in
all Sky.
All Sky.
Mm-hmm.
And so he clearly is trying to beat the framework.
Yeah.
And I think I wouldn't be surprised if they can wake up Coulson.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll probably be the first to wake.
I think he'd probably be the only one. And the producers had it sort of hinted at because, well, he was dead.
Yeah.
His brain has been tampered with a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So what's this going to do?
Yeah, right? So you can't mess him up anymore.
You can knock him down.
Yeah.
But his brain's going to come back. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was the only one that they can wake up. Which, to me, all the better.
Yeah.
If I had to choose of the ones who were going to wake up, Coulson, man.
Yeah, all the way.
All the way.
Yeah.
But other than that, what are your expectations?
My expectations are to see Ratcliffe and Mace.
Yes. and Mac.
And Mac, yeah. But I'm really expecting a lot from Ratcliffe because he's, as far as we know in the real world, dead.
Yes.
Completely dead. Wrist, bled out, wrist slashed.
The Jed and Marissa have said that the whole third act does not take place in the framework the whole time.
Right.
But nonetheless, we're going to spend some time in there, but we're not going to be, the next 8 episodes won't all be in there.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering what will happen when they wake up.
Yeah. And I'm wondering,
I hope Ada becomes Madam Hydra.
Yeah. I'm also wondering, since we are going to get Ratcliffe in the next episode, I'm wondering, once they get out of the framework in the real world, how much time has passed? Are they going to, go philosophical here and be like, well, that all happened within the course of seconds?
Yeah.
While Ratcliffe was still alive and now...
So we don't know.
Yeah.
But we are so happy you're back.
Yes.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
And I like not knowing. I like that they're going kind of away from, a lot of the comic stuff that we know, and they've made their own show.
I wonder who, because as you said, this season has been for the fans.
Yeah.
They've specifically said that for fans, you're going to see stuff in the framework that if you're a true fan, you're going to know.
Yeah. Coulson mentioned unicorns.
Yes.
Yeah.
What I'm excited is, so they, obviously they can't always tell you everything.
Right.
So they have to keep it vague and, hint, hint, hint here.
Mm-hmm.
But they were asked, so are we going to bring people back that we haven't seen in a while? And the ever classic answer is like, we'll just have to watch.
Right.
So I'm hoping we'll see some Trip.
Yeah.
I miss Trip.
Yeah.
And,
the framework, they can bring back anybody.
well, they can't bring back Garrett.
Well, yeah.
But I did
way too soon. You know what I mean, though. It's like...
But I did like that there was a nod to Bill Paxton at the end.
Yeah.
It was very nice of them.
Yeah.
Just, it made me happy. I was like, okay, thank you. Thank you, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
So other than that, I think that's it.
Yeah.
We have nothing else to talk to. Go watch Powerless.
Yeah, go watch Powerless. And we'll see you next week.